The state of the environment in Kenya before the ban on single-use plastic bags was an eyesore. Plastic bags were strewn everywhere, affecting both the user and the environment in general.
If you had to walk out those days before we banned the plastics, you walk out of any building, you notice littering all over. You go to our plains, it's the same thing. You see a tree, you think it has so many flowers which has blossomed, but all these are plastics hanging on top of those trees.
The pollution was so much that the plastic bags found their way on trees, drainage systems, parks, and many other areas.
Before the ban, of course, the interactions with wildlife were unfriendly. The blockage of the waterways, that was not pleasant. But today we can look at our estate and identify an animal as it is, without seeing a very impressive feature far off, only to get closer and realize it's a plastic bag.
Herders in pastoral communities bore the brunt of the plastic menace as it affected their livestock, with some dying out of ingesting plastic bags.
The plastic had a lot of disadvantage to the communities because it used to be dumped in the river, in the grazing land, all over.
One cow was found to contain 23 kilograms of plastic in its stomach at a slaughterhouse in Kitengela, a clear indication of how the plastic bags affected livestock.
The world economy, the global economy, including our own, depends on the ocean. The scientific research, and I'm sure you're familiar about, that by 2050, we would have, globally, we would have more plastics in the oceans than fish in the ocean.
Plastic bags were evident everywhere, especially in towns. The streets were synonymous with plastic bags pollution.
I think the plastic ban is one of the best things that ever happened to our country, because we had lots of challenges when it came to solid waste management. Nema felt that we have to do something, and this was as a result of the study that was undertaken by Nema and UNEP. We found out that from supermarket chains alone, the supermarkets churn out 100 million carrier bags. So all this went to environment because plastic were really very convenient, versatile. So people were used to plastic and they were very comfortable using the plastic because it was very convenient for use. But they didn't look at the inconveniences caused by these plastics, especially the trash in our towns and cities.
When you want to manage solid waste, you don't manage it at the dump site, you manage it at source. So if we make sure that we do not have waste that becomes a problem later, I think that's the first and most prudent way of managing waste. So I think the Kenyan way, and it has been cited even in international conventions on environment, that Kenya has led the way. Of course, many other countries have now taken up. But the point is, if you manage waste at source, meaning that we wouldn't even have it, as is the case in Kenya, then you're able to solve a lot of those problems.
Most dump sites like Kibarani were full of plastic bags and other types of waste, with Dandora dump site having the same features with fumes from burnt plastic choking the atmosphere. The National Environment Management Authority and the Kenya Bureau of Standards attempted to ban plastics before 60 microns in 2011, but it failed. In the year 2017, the ban, spearheaded by the then Environment Cabinet Secretary Professor Judy Wahungu, faced strong opposition when she introduced a ban on plastic bags.
This is our third attempt in ensuring we ban the plastic carrier bags. In fact, we started this journey a decade ago. We've been consulting. We have registered 25 meetings that we had with manufacturers and other stakeholders.
The Kenya Association of Manufacturers and several traders filed a petition at the High Court to block its implementation, citing lack of adequate stakeholder consultation and warning that the ban would be detrimental to the economy. But the High Court declined the prayer, leading to a nationwide ban on plastic carrier bags on 28 August 2017. The move by the government was lauded by many with the support of Kenyans.
You know very well that Kenya has been trying this for the last 20 years, even more. And that this was the first time that the Kenya government decided to ban the single-use plastic bags.
Yes, enforcement is normally a challenge, but I want to start with applauding the Kenyans that they embraced the ban on plastics very well. And so it's one of the laws that we didn't face a lot of challenges, and I wish to, as from the point of an enforcer, then to thank the Kenyan.
The right to a clean, safe and healthy environment is enshrined in our Constitution. And it is a fundamental human right, and the government has an obligation to ensure that every citizen of this country enjoys that right, which is enforceable in court.
Plastic ban by Kenya formed a point of discussion during the third meeting of the UN Environment Assembly, UNEA 3, held in December at UNEP headquarters in Nairobi.
Kenya has made a very good shift, and this is an example that a lot of countries, not only around neighboring countries to Kenya, but also around the world, are now looking. They're calling upon Kenya to come and share the experiences they thought.
Now it's much less, I tell you. I see very little plastic in the environment, plastic bags. They're very few because they're not there. I mean, supermarkets don't use them. The supply of plastics has dwindled.
Kwa upande wa advantages, iko poa kwa sababu ina keep the environment clean.
So as to deter people from using, trading or importing plastic bags, the government introduced penalties for defaulters.
From the enforcement desk, for those who are still using plastics, we are coming for you. And it's not a good thing. The law is very strict, the fines are very strict, and you can run, but you can't hide.
So as to deter people from using, trading or importing plastic bags, the government introduced penalties for defaulters. The general penalty spelled out under the Environment and Coordination Act for those found culpable is a jail term no shorter than 1 year or a fine of no less than 2 million shillings. But the law provides for a maximum fine of 4 million shillings or a 4-year jail term. The heavy fines have worked.
So we are able to significantly say and authoritatively say that the waste ban by Nema came to save this country, and in particular Nakuru County has been able to see it. Of course, there are challenges here and there because there are some unscrupulous traders here and there that will sneak these plastic bags.
The National Environment Management Authority, Nema, recommended various alternative bags which have so far gained popularity.
After the ban, we had a big conference of inviting manufacturers at KICC so that they come and exhibit alternatives to plastic carrier bags. A number of manufacturers were invited, and they came and presented a number of alternatives from sisal, paper, cloth-like materials, and many other materials that they've been using before the plastic came into the scene.
Tangu makaratasi ibaniwe, tumeona biashara ya kiondoo imeenda mzuri sana. Kwa maana Wakenya wameamua kununua kiondoo. Kiondoo inabeba hata mizigo mingi kuliko hata hizi paper bag.
wenzetu ambao bado wanatumia mifuko ya plastiki ama vyombo vyovyote vya plastiki wajue kwamba hizi vitu zinaleta madhara katika nchi yetu. Kwanza kabisa samaki baharini, wanyama, mpaka sisi pia kama community at large. Unaona mifuko kama hii? Mifuko ni mizuri, imetumika tangu zamani, kabla haijakuwa bani ya plastic. Hii tulikuwa tukitumia. Lakini hii mifuko uzuri wake inaoza haraka. Unaona, haikai kwa muda na miaka. Plastic inaweza kata miaka 100. Bado iko pale baharini tu. Inaharibu mazingira, inaharibu bahari.
I mean, put it this way. We were not born with plastics. All right? Plastic just came into the environment when? How many years ago? Countries have banned plastics. Countries that are banned totally. Those economies have not collapsed.
2 years after the ban was effected, the environment has been slowly shading off the plastics that once choked it, a clear indication that the ban has worked.
Sahii maji iko clear kabisa, hata vile sisi wenye wanafanya na boat. Sahii tunaweza enda place yoyote na boat. But wakati tulikuwa na hizo paper bags, unajua zilikuwa zinajaa kwa maji sana. Sasa unajua hiyo propeller ya mashini ilikuwa kama ulikuwa unaendesha hiyo paper bag ikishika hiyo propeller, boat haiwezi enda. Lazima tena utoe hiyo mashini, uangalie nini mbaya na hiyo nini mashini. But by now sahii tuko sawa kabisa. Hata service hatufanyi vile tulikuwa tunafanya 2 years back.
Kibarani dam site that was an eyesore has been regenerated to a recreation facility, with Dandora dam site having less plastic garbage compared to how it was before the ban. Many streets in cities and towns where plastic bags once littered the landscape are now clean and neat.
Kazi imekuwa rahisi kabisa. Kazi imekuwa rahisi sababu hata kukifagia hakuna makaratasi, sio kama zamani. Hata sasa hizi mtu anaogopa, sio kwamba anaogopa, unaogopa hata mpaka kuibeba. Sababu unaona kuibeba tu kitupa unashikwa.
National parks that once had a challenge of plastic bags are now clean, giving wildlife a chance to thrive.
There is a definite change in the sites in the parks. Along the roads, along the circuits, on the trees, picnic sites, there's a definite change and there's an appreciation, a level of appreciation.
The ocean shores are free of plastic bags, with drainage free of the plastic mess.
There is absolutely no shortcut about it. There is no way, how else you can describe it. Environment is life. So we either take care of our environment or we perish. Do it for yourself. Do it for your children. Do it for your children, and posterity. Yes, government will spearhead, will give the necessary leadership, the legal and policy framework, mobilize resources, coordination, and so on and so forth. But ultimately, this is a shared and joint responsibility.